Previously on Adequately Advanced Magic.
It's the day of the annual neighborhood potluck.
Nova's in her study, and she is reviewing some tarot.
As you do your tarot cards, you literally somehow draw like 5 death cards. The three of you take a look over in the direction of the tables. Rather than fixing the fountain to shoot at guests coming in, it appears that water is now exploding from underneath the ground. As you look upon the scene, Nova, you suddenly feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Oh, Charlotte dear, you gave me quite a fright. Can I help you?
Nova, as you say that, you feel a sharp pain in your chest.
Nova grabs whoever's arm is nearest to, like, her right side, pulls them down, her eyes wide. Avenge me when Mercury is in the 3rd house.
What?
Wait, did she just die?
Welcome to Falcon's Reach, a city in which magic is technology. You're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic.
Nova's funeral is a rather short affair, involving a funeral pyre and orcish funeral lamentation howling.
I'm just imagining, like, in like a cul-de-sac, like, in the middle of the cul-de-sac, there's a giant funeral pyre, and it's a pretty good image.
You've never lived in Bangladesh.
You know what? You were right, Wesley. I've never lived in Bangladesh.
All of the neighbors have turned out wearing their various funeral garb, and take turn giving their condolences to Oscar, Nova's husband. Thalia, Micah, and Star stand nearby, quiet. The line to talk to Oscar slowly dwindles, leaving Deborah and Kia for y'all's turn to offer condolences to Oscar.
Deborah goes to Oscar, and she's timed it so that it's an exact minute and a half of condolences, which is the proper amount of time. She wants to make sure everybody can see that she's offering condolences to Oscar, and that nobody can accuse her of not offering condolences to Oscar. Oscar, Nova was such a good friend. She was always nice to Zog and Glob, and was really good at appropriate levels of discretion. If there's anything you need, me and my kids are always here for you. And I put a hand on his shoulder. How is Oscar looking, by the way?
Go ahead and do an insight check.
Trying to see if he's like, how actually upset he is that Nova... 17.
He looks sad, but not super duper sad.
Okay. Alright, that's good to know. So Oscar maybe, feels sad because he, spent a lot of time with Nova, but also feels a little bit of relief. All right, that's my piece.
Oscar replies, "Thanks, Deborah. Would you mind staying a second? I want to ask you something later."
Sure, I could stay for a little bit, but I have to get Zog and Glob to their weekend soccer practice after this, so I can't stay too long.
Oscar turns towards Kia.
Oscar, I'm so sorry for what happened. Nova was just a beautiful spirit, and we're going to desperately miss her here.
She will be missed, he says.
I just want to say, in case you're feeling a sense of loss or something that can't be replaced, you're always welcome at our yoga and fitness sessions. Usually it's just us housewives, but we can make a special exception for you over the next few months.
Aww.
Yes, of course. I appreciate it.
Kia doesn't really want to tarry too long, so she also doesn't really like being at funerals. So she just she finds it to be slightly annoying and a waste of time. So she, having given her appropriate condolences, decides to make her exit.
Oh, I guess as Kia turns to leave, Oscar stops you for a second, and he says, Deborah, Kia, I know the two of you were really good friends with Nova. Would you guys mind coming over later and helping clean out some of her stuff?
Well, I guess I could move Zog and Glob's clarinet practice, which is immediately after their soccer practice, to next week, and we could still make it in time for their cricket practice. So yes, that should be fine.
But don't you have, like, people to do that? Or...
I'm actually taking the kids up to stay with the grandparents. He gives you a key.
Kia begrudgingly takes the key.
Kia.
Yeah, I was just about to say something. There's also, when Wesley said we'll desperately miss her, I was like, yes, as housewives, we'll desperately miss her.
Boo.
And then look directly at the camera and wait.
Thanks, he says. I assume the two of you guys head out.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have a soccer practice I need to get the kids to. A soccer practice they desperately want to go to because I told them to.
Yeah. As the two of you head out, you hear some whispering amongst the other neighbors.
Ooh, what do they say, Joey?
Go ahead and do a perception check.
I feel like you goaded me into that. All right. I'm not... All right. Perception's all right. Not that all right, though. That is an 8.
You can't really make it out, but it all sounds very mysterious and gossipy.
Damn it. Deborah really cares about what other people think of her, but she couldn't hear it, so she just assumes that it's about somebody else. No, actually, she assumes it's about her. She's like, I'll fucking get these bitches.
As the two of you leave, the neighbors all turn their heads and look at the two of you.
I knew it.
And then we cut to a shot of Vivian. You find yourself in the police station in which Charlotte is being held, sitting across from a detective. The dragonborn detective sitting across from you opens his mouth and then puts a cigarette in it. He gently puffs some smoke.
I wave it out of my face.
A second later, he says, "Name's Detective Sullivan. How can I help you today?"
You're holding my daughter captive for a crime that no one can prove has been committed, and I think it's time we both leave. Have her rights been read? Is she being charged? If not, we're free to go. I would know. I mean, I work for Wolf News.
We have it on several witness accounts that your daughter stabbed somebody.
Whose accounts? Some are much less trustworthy than others.
Also, we did a zone of truth interrogation and your daughter admitted to stabbing the victim in question.
Well, how do you know that she meant to do it? I mean, a crime requires a motive, requires premeditated intent. I mean, people can compel others to do the most dastardly deeds under Magitech.
Yeah, I've heard this defense lots of times. Somebody made me do it. Listen, if you can prove that somebody made your daughter stab this woman, I will let her go.
Well, I'll be back by the end of the day. I wasn't named the #1 investigative journalist in Falcon's Reach for 3 years running for nothing. She'll be out in a few hours.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
I turn and storm out, and you could hear my heels like clicking on the ground. Click, click, click.
Detective Sullivan sighs, and then he pulls out another cigarette and then unleashes his flame breath on it. He burns about half his cigarette, and then he takes one long toke, finishing the second half. Vivian, you storm out of the police station, and now we're gonna enter free time mode.
Joey, in this universe, what's the phone equivalent? Like, we're all like housewives in suburbia. Do we have like sending stones or something for each other where, we could call each other up and gossip or talk to meet up?
There is the sending Magitech, which has been mentioned previously.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, Animal Messenger has also been used.
Right. All right. I use Animal Messenger and send a chinchilla to Vivian, telling her that we're meeting up or Kia and I are going to Nova's house to help clean out some of her things, and that Vivian's welcome to join us. I tell her that it would really look good in front of the community if she was able to help.
I say that I'll be there immediately.
People will talk about you if you don't come.
Well, I would think they'd mainly be talking about how my daughter is suspected of murder, but
Exactly. You don't want to add to the stigma.
I see. I'll be there at 8.
Okay, I'm going to actually show up at 7:45, just so we get done on time.
So like the Animal Messenger has to like run back and forth. So.
You see this chinchilla.
Yeah. As each time it has to cross the street, it starts looking more tired and tired.
Oh. So is Oscar is going to be gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess you wouldn't know that, but it was heavily implied to Kia and Deborah.
Okay, then let's just say during these messages, I ask Deborah, what about Oscar? Like, do you think he'll be okay if I just show up? I mean...
Well, if you want my honest answer, I don't think we'll be seeing Oscar again anytime soon.
Sam? Why do you think that?
I could see on his face that he doesn't have much of an attachment to Amethysterious Lane, and I think this might have been the opportunity he was looking for to leave, so... Plus, he gave Kia the keys to his house, so I don't think he cares much about it.
That's a lead if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, anyway, we'll meet tonight.
I'll be there.
Yeah, the chinchilla just has to run back and forth. For the spell, it actually, like, when it speaks, it's the voice of whoever sends the message.
So it switches between Deborah and Vivian.
Yeah.
Deborah's like, I'll be there first.
I guess, is there anything you guys want to do in the intervening time before you guys meet up?
Kia tries to get one more workout in. Not gonna waste your entire day on all this funerary bullshit.
Yeah, Deborah talks to Zog and Glob and asks them if they have any questions or feelings. I know that she knows that death is quite a heavy subject and wants to be sure that her kids are okay.
Kids are like, no, mommy.
No, they're not okay?
They don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, we'll schedule 30 minutes tomorrow to talk about it. I know your feelings better than you do.
They look slightly uncomfortable.
Anyway, go to soccer practice and beat all those other kids, okay? Remember, nobody, and I mean nobody, wins over a bad bog. That's our last name. For the audience.
Zog awkwardly. I imagine he's sort of like, just like a little bit slightly on the chubbier side.
Yes.
He was like enlisted into the soccer team just
because I told him to.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I actually want to play dodgeball. And I was like, no bad bog will be seen playing dodgeball.
He actually wanted to read books.
Yeah.
He has little
like,
glasses.
No. Deborah insisted that they do soccer because she thinks it's a more appropriate sport, or she thinks it's appropriate that they get outside because they're orcs.
I would like to see, would I be able to talk to Charlotte? Would they let me? Yeah, let's say I try to go back and talk to her. If they turn me down, they turn me down. But I feel like I would at least try. I would storm out in anger and then be like,
and then come back again. Like... Vivian, you're now standing outside the police station.
Mm-hmm. Touch my pearls, and then I realize, why didn't I talk to Charlotte? The most important thing is to get the witness's perspective, and that she's really the only witness to it. So I immediately kind of heel turn and walk back into the police station and demand to speak to my daughter.
You pass by a receptionist's desk. He has just seen you leave, so he sort of just is like looking at you questioningly.
I say, how dare you not let me speak to my daughter? You are removing me of my rights as her mother. And Parrot, I mean, she's under 18. I need to speak to her. And if you don't, well, I'll report you to your supervisor and your supervisor's supervisor, and you wouldn't want that, would you?
The police officer, a rather young elf, replies, "Ma'am, you'll have to talk to the supervising detective."
Is it the Dragonborn I just spoke to?
Yes.
Fuck. I need to speak to him now. Bring him out. Or bring me in. Whichever is faster. If time is money, chop chop.
You can head on in.
I head into the room, and I open the door. Is his cigarette still on fire?
Yeah, he's. You see, there's like a pile of them in his ashtray now.
I say something along the lines of, "You've made a grave error in not letting me be in the room with my daughter. She is a minor. I demand to speak to her right now."
As he puffs on his cigarette, he looks confused. He says, "Ma'am, I thought you were leaving."
I was just testing you to see if you knew the rights of minors, which clearly you do not, and I could report you for.
Is this the due process thing again?
Shouldn't you know that?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
24.
Detective Sullivan sighs, and you can sort of hear him muttering under his breath, "I hate due process."
Don't we all?
All right, come with me. Detective Sullivan leads you into the jail section of the police station. There's no, like, visitor room or anything. He basically just, like, drops you off outside Charlotte's cell and sort of just stands nearby smoking. As he drops you off, he says, "You have 5 minutes."
I start to cry because I'm just seeing my baby, my only child, in this terrible predicament. And I say, "Oh, sure." And I my eyes filled with tears. I grab her hands through the bars, and I just kind of cry and try to hold her as much as I can for like about 30 seconds.
Is this like a persuasion cry, or are you trying to convince them to give you more time?
No, I'm sad. Wouldn't you be sad seeing your only child in jail?
Yes, you're so right.
It's called empathy, man.
And it holds you back.
It makes you weak.
Yeah, it makes you weak.
Yeah, Charlotte also runs up to the jail cell doors, and she also starts crying.
Kind of just hold, like, I hold her and we cry for wasting about a minute of time. And and then I say, "Are you okay? Are you eating all right? Is anyone being mean to you? Is anyone threatening you with a knife?"
You're somewhat, like, worst case scenario concerns managed to draw a small chuckle out of Charlotte, even as she's crying. She says, "No, Mom, I'm okay."
I stroke her hair and I try to force myself to go from mom mode into fact-finding mode. And I say, "Tell me what happened as best as you can in your own words. I'm trying to help you. I will get you out of here, I promise. I'm your mother."
Charlotte cries a little bit more, and then she says, "Well, I was just hanging out at the party, and then it felt like I heard a voice in my head, and then everything went blank."
What did the voice say?
I couldn't really tell. But when I opened my eyes again, there was so much blood. And then she starts crying again.
I stroke her hair and I just hold her for another minute. Did the voice sound like anyone we know? Anyone at the party?
Charlotte says, "No, honestly, Mom, you're not going to believe this.
Try me.
It sounded sort of otherworldly. I don't know how else to describe it."
This was good information, Char. I promise, nothing bad is going to happen. I will get you out of here. And you've just given me a lot of leads to work with. You've been very brave.
Charlotte gives you a hug. A couple seconds later, Detective Sullivan is like, okay, time's up.
I kind of force down my orcish anger because I know I did kind of fight my way to get in here. I kind of sigh and I give Charlotte one last hug and I try to kiss her on her forehead through the bars the way that I did when she was a little baby. And I say, stay strong. I love you. You'll be out soon. And then I follow and I don't look back because I know that I'm gonna figure this out.
Charlotte stands near the cell door with her hands on the bars, and she tearfully watches you go. And you leave. Later that evening, the three of you gather outside Nova's home.
Can't believe it's only been a few days. Nova was with us. Sadness.
Deb, I know it's very hard, but I think we all just have to try to remember the beauty of Nova's life and move on. I really recommend, you've been slacking a little bit on the workout classes for the last couple weeks, and I really suggest that I think that could help you work out and work through some of these issues. So, looking forward to seeing you back next Monday.
You're nothing if not a relentless businesswoman, Kia.
Vivian says, forget beauty. Nova needs justice. No, let's see what she has in store.
How is the police station, Vivian?
Incompetent.
Yes. I figured as such. They are so bad at catching murderers. And I look to the side. Anyway, let's go in. Kia, you have the key, yeah?
Okay.
Joey's like, damn it, this was a mistake.
Joey created this situation. I'm just capitalizing on it.
You see a slight twitch in Kia's brow as she goes and fishes out the key and goes up to unlock what I assume is the front door of this house.
I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one.
Good job.
Thank you.
Kia, you dramatically insert the key into the keyhole, and you open the door to Nova's house.
Without kicking it down.
Such a rarity in this world. You just have to straight up give you the key.
We'll kick some doors down later.
Yep. Oscar and the kids are out.
Does it look like they've packed everything up and moved, or does it just look normal?
Good question.
Go and do a perception check.
Perception. That is a 15 for perception.
Yeah, you take a look around. The front door opens into the living room, and all of the furniture is still there. In the far back, you can see the dining room and the kitchen. Everything is largely untouched.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Oscar will be back. Did he give us any instructions on where Nova's things were that we needed to clean up?
No, he didn't say anything about that. Typical lazy scumbag. But just like Kai. And we can go to Nova's room to start with. I think I've been there before. I don't remember where it's at.
Right, yes. Presumably we've been here before.
Yeah.
I head down the hall, maybe, to Nova's room.
I follow.
Sure. I don't have anything else that I can think of doing, so I'll do that.
The three of you head over to Nova's room. Kia, you're in the front. As you open the door, go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Wait, Claire, you're like a paladin, right?
Yeah, I am.
I feel like we should get some bonus, I think, from that. It should be anybody within 10 feet of you.
Oh, okay, then they all get it.
Yeah, they have to be within 10 feet, yeah.
Well, with that boost, I'm up to a 17.
Nice.
You're hit by the overwhelming scent of incense. It's almost a little bit nauseating how much incense there is in here, but you're able to keep it down.
It's very worth it for me to pull up that rule.
Yeah.
Lord, Nova. What I introduced her to some better incense than this. I thought, what is this garbage?
This garbage.
I brave my way through the wall of incense and try to peer around the room to see what the setup is like.
Yeah. On one side of the room are just a whole shelf of crystals. On another wall, there's another shelf of just tarot cards. And on another wall, there's just like some various like random shrines.
Shrines to what? Is there anything like that it's
Just
dedicated to?
Go ahead and do a history check.
While she does that, I pick up a tarot card.
All right, let me roll the random tarot card for you while Claire rolls the history
I got
check.
a natural 1 plus 1, so a 2. But I got a nat 1.
You peer closely at the shrines. They mean nothing to you.
I say, odd. I had no idea. I knew she was a free spirit, but I had no idea she was this much of a pagan.
Is Vivian very religious?
I'm assuming that she is. I kind of picture her as like, or at least enough to appear to be. I'm thinking of her as like kind of like a right-wing kind of pundit.
Ah.
Like definitely someone that leverages religion, at the very least.
Not sure how I feel about Vivian now.
The shrines mean nothing to you, and it's not due to like a lack of knowledge. They literally just don't mean anything. Like, unless you're the superstitious sort. Meanwhile, Deborah, you go up to the shelf with one of the many decks of tarot cards, and you draw one. And you draw the Knight of Cups.
Oh, cool. Do I do I happen to know what that means from my time with Nova?
Go ahead and do a intelligence check.
It's an 8.
You take a look at the card. You see a handsome orcish knight wearing plate armor, and he's holding a big cup. This means nothing to you.
Yeah. Well, Nova had her obsessions, and I really wish I'd listened to her more or once. But I suppose that's not why we're here. So I put the card back.
Kia, what do you do?
I am going to start looking around for anything that might have been like a diary or notes that Nova might have been writing, just to get a sense of what she was up to. Maybe she had an inventory. I'm trying to think a little bit more efficiently about how we can quickly ascertain what's all there and what matters, what efficient way to pack this stuff up.
Yeah, go ahead and do a investigate check.
Creativity, romance, charm, imagination, beauty. That's what the Knight of Cups means.
That is a 13 for investigation.
You take a look around the room, searching for some sort of diary or book, and eventually something catches your eye on the tarot card shelf that is somewhat hidden underneath the many decks.
Is it like it's a book or a piece of paper?
It's a small booklet.
Okay.
After you push the tarot card decks away,
I take the booklet down and take a look inside.
you take a look inside. In handwriting that you recognize as Nova's, you see a short message, and it reads, "All is not what it appears."
Kia thinks to herself, well, that's useless. I was hoping to pack this shit up and be back in time for my late night workout.
Fucking Nova.
Kia, you thumb through Nova's little booklet, and you realize that Nova has been doing tarot card readings of the various denizens of the neighborhood. Basically, like, every page is like a different family or resident. A couple of them are crossed out, just, you assume, due to, like, boredom. And then there's a couple of other ones that she's sort of, like, left alone. You see that the page for the Rodriguez family has the tarot card for the tower. You see that Captain Harper has the card for the Five of Swords. Rob the gardener has the card for the Hanged Man. And Professor O'Malley has the card for the Devil. Those are the things that stand out to you.
Well, I knew that Nova was into this tarot stuff. I was trying to get her to connect, more with herself on a spiritual level, but this is what worked with her. I don't know. I get very bad vibes from this.
Don't tell me you believe the same mumbo jumbo that Nova did. God rest her soul.
I mean, it's impossible to deny that there is something beyond what we can all see and hear, but this stuff, these cards, I just don't know.
Well, I know she was way into the divination magitech, but I didn't really think much of it until what happened the other day.
Isn't that, illegal, though?
I mean, listen. Technically, yes, but it wasn't that illegal.
We all have our secrets. I mean, who are we to judge?
Yes, and honestly, if I might speak frankly, Nova's was a little bit tame, I feel. She didn't even use her divination magitech to play the magical stock market. She was doing no harm to anybody, aside from maybe herself, it seems.
Well, at the very least, these are some good leads we could potentially look into. Vivian kind of writes down the people and the tarot cards listed.
Well, I guess we can take whatever we want. I mean, Oscar didn't specify what he wanted gone or how we wanted it sorted or anything like that, and I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time here on this stuff, so... He goes around and just starts looking for things that might look like good decor for a yoga studio.
Good lord.
All right, let's start robbing the dead.
Let me remind you guys that you guys were best friends.
But what does that really mean?
Best friends give things to their best friends after they die, right?
We all agreed to this. We had a pact that if one of us died, our friends would divide up our
belongings.
Yeah.
Not for the children or the husband, just for you.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, he is not looting large amounts of cash. He's just taking random trinkets.
Is there a box around here that just says Nova stuff that I can take?
You think back to your conversation with Oscar. You sort of vaguely feel like, yeah, he probably could have been the one to get rid of all the stuff. But no, he asked you guys to do it.
It's weird that Oscar asked us to do this in the first place. Don't you think, ladies?
Well, I mean, like most husbands, it's always struck me as kind of useless. But typical, right? They shove it off on us all the time. All the work, all the things that need to be done.
It's suspicious. I mean, who leaves town after their wife has been murdered?
With the kids, no less.
It's odd.
What are you implying, Vivian?
Just that this man is suspicious. Like you said, as all men are, but this one in particular. Actually, as I'm saying this, Vivian, as an investigative journalist, I can only assume is somewhat familiar with, true crime and motivations. She knows that Nova she used some sort of divination and was curious if Oscar was potentially feeling some disgruntlement or some sort of resentment or feeling disgruntled. So rather than looking for anything of Nova's, Vivian actually is curious if there's anything of Oscar's around or if there's some sort of study that Oscar has that she can kind of poke into.
Yeah, you do recall that Oscar does have a study down the hall. There's nothing of Oscar's in this particular room, though.
Okay. She'd like to go look into this study.
Vivian, where are you going? Nova's stuff is in here.
Following a hunch.
Okay. Sounds good. I keep going through Nova's stuff.
Vivian, you head towards Oscar's study. Meanwhile, Kia, what are you doing?
I have tried to find some sort of box or bag that I can shove a few of these trinkets into. Go around just collecting random crystals, candles, plants, things like that. And after I've kind of finished collecting a few of those things, I'll just probably start wandering around the house looking for other items of interest.
Wait, so we're just
Not
So now
necessarily
we're
to take, just out of a curiosity to explore the house.
okay.
Vivian, you take a look into Oscar's study. You see the traditional Cocobolo desk with a series of bookshelves sitting behind it. There's a little globe of whiskey and 2 sitting chairs on the opposite side.
I want to start looking through the drawers of the desk.
Yeah, go and roll a investigate check.
Ugh, I got a 3. God damn it.
You rummage around the desk and you just find work papers and other sort of various knickknacks that one would keep in a study at home.
Starting to get annoyed. I'm like, there must be something I'm missing. Actually, I feel like I would be kind of like under the gun, so why don't I do a little hit of pixie dust since I'm alone?
Yeah,
Nice.
go ahead and describe it for us.
She's feeling kind of along the lines of, oh, there must be something I'm missing. And it's because I'm so tired. I'm so overwhelmed. I need to be sharp. So I kind of reach into my coat and I take my little vial and then I spread it, do a line along Oscar's desk. And then I kind of just do it into one nostril, one quick, just very, very quick. And then I kind of sweep the rest of the dust into my hand and throw it into the garbage can, kind of eliminate any trace of the evidence. And then I kind of tell myself, surely I'll find something now. I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm ready.
Yeah, you feel great for now. And you have advantage on the next check that you do.
For now.
Can I try again?
Go ahead and do an investigate check this time with more vigor.
Bloodshot eyes.
Jesus fucking Christ. I got a 4 and a 2.
Oh no.
You tear through Oscar's desk and his shelves and the little globe thing, but you find nothing.
I take the globe full of whiskey and toss it on the ground.
It shatters.
Oh.
Meanwhile, we cut over to Kia.
Kia has been wandering around with her bag of trinkets and probably hears the shattering glass in the other room. So I go to check that out.
You head back to the study, and you see a frustrated-looking Vivian standing over a shattered decanter of whiskey.
Hey, Vivian. Everything okay?
There should be something. Why can't I? There must be something. I can't find anything.
So I think sometimes, like we've worked on this in some of the sessions we've done together, you just have to take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and just find that inner peace. And I'm sure that you're a great investigator, Vivian, and everything is going to be good. Everything's going to be fine.
I try to hold her hand. I say, "Can you help me? Help me with my breathing."
Kia tries to she takes both of Vivian's hands and turns to face her and tries to go through a few basic breathing exercises.
The two of you breathe.
But what kind of check is that, Joey? I demand.
Breath check.
What do they need to do, Joey?
You guys just do it, I guess. There's no check for breathing, as far as I know.
Wait, let me scroll through the list. Here's some very loud breathing coming from the other room.
Yeah, Deborah, what are you doing?
Deborah brought a cardboard box with her, and she's actually doing the thing that she's supposed to be doing.
Makes sense. Someone should do it.
Which is putting Nova's things into a cardboard box to take home or to take somewhere. She heard her two friends. She heard Vivian walk into the other room, and she heard some very loud snorting. And then she saw Kia go, and then she heard some very loud breathing. She's very confused. But she's doing what she's here to do.
Good for her.
I don't know if any clues like fall out while she's doing this, and so be it. She carefully examines everything as she's putting it into the box.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and investigate check.
As a 14.
Nice.
Being the only person who is doing what they're supposed to be doing, Deborah, you continue to pack away Nova's stuff. Eventually, you do hit the stuff that is on the bottom shelf of the tarot cards, and it's basically like buried underneath a bunch of stuff. You find a Tarot Cards 101 handbook.
Woo!
Wow.
How to find out about your friends, enemies, and more.
This looks like it hasn't been actually touched in a while.
It's quite dusty.
I blow off the dust.
Go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw.
It's good. And I know my two compatriots are more than 10 feet away, so this will just I'll just have to raw dog this. Con save. That's not so bad. That is a 17. I think that's the exact number Wesley rolled earlier.
Your allergies are not activated.
I stifle a
This
sneeze.
this is a thing only people over 31.
Yeah.
Dust, the true enemy.
Yeah. People in Gen Z can skip forward
Time
30 seconds.
Time step included.
It's just going to be 15 seconds of us coughing uncontrollably.
Ah, my back gave out while I was
Right.
coughing uncontrollably.
But yeah, you survive your potential allergies.
Are you saying that would have killed me, Joey?
Sometimes it do feel like that.
Yeah. So right.
All right, what are you guys doing now?
So I've taken Vivian through a few basic breathing exercises, and I think we're getting into a better place. So I let go of her hands and open my eyes again and say, so, Viv, are you okay?
I'm not. My daughter is in jail for a crime she may have committed, but not of her own will, and I can't find anything as to why.
Well, Viv, like I said, you're the best damn investigator I know, so I know we're gonna figure this out. Let's take another look around and see if we can find something.
I feel calmed at Kaya's words.
Unfortunately, you are also coming down from your high.
I start to sweat. My hand is kind of spasming a little bit. I kind of put it in my pocket. 'Cause none of my friends know that I do this, and it's a secret that I keep just to myself.
Does Kia notice any of this?
Vivian, how about you roll a sleight of hand check, and then Kia, you can roll a perception check.
Do we
Slick.
not know but suspect?
You probably suspect, but
I got a 4.
All right, you need to use some
yeah,
different
it's time to
dice.
switch to the.
I'll reload.
Analog. Analog is the way to go.
Kia got a 10.
You see Vivian's hand shake at it and sweat a little bit as she shoves it into her pocket.
Kia takes note of this, but chooses to disregard it for now.
What a real friend. Real friends let friends' addictions go unspoken about.
If my friend wants to do cocaine, my friend can do cocaine.
I'll take another look around.
I feel very docile now, so I'm just kind of looking to Kia and kind of following her like a little lamb since she's guided me through my rage/panic attack.
All right, we'll roll with it. Well, like, what are you just looking around generally, or are you looking for something specific?
I think at this point, so originally Kia was primarily interested in just packing up the stuff and getting out of here. But now, seeing how distraught Vivian is, I will begin to specifically look for something that might give insight into, any problems that Nova might have been facing before her death, or something that might give clues as to why she was murdered.
Yeah, go ahead and do a investigate check.
All right, Kia got a 14 for her
Woo!
investigation check.
Amidst the debris caused by Vivian, Kia, you see there's a couple of papers that are written in Nova's handwriting and not Oscar's.
I begin to sort through them a bit, see if there's anything of particular interest.
Yep. you take a look and you see that these are Nova's notes that she wrote herself for Oscar. They appear to be predictions. A couple of them cover Oscar's potential performance reviews at the company that he works for. Others are rather specific questions about what he should do. Others cover potential rivals at the company. You're able to deduce that, yes, Nova has in fact been using divination magic, illegal divination magic, to help her husband. But as you look further, you see that Nova has occasionally added notes that are not work-related.
I predict that your erectile dysfunction pills will arrive on Tuesday.
Or maybe it's blackmail about rivals. Like he's been having an affair with the secretary.
These notes typically pertain to divination questions that were perhaps too broad. And as you thumb through the notes, we're just gonna Sparks notes it. You see that Nova is growing increasingly distressed about one of her neighbors, who, as she put it before, is not what they seem. Kia, as you take a look through these notes, you think back to that booklet that you found earlier.
The 4 names. Well, there are more than 4 names, but the 4 that seem to be a particular note.
Yeah. And you wonder if this is the reason that she was doing readings or even potentially divinations on certain neighbors.
Ooh. Meanwhile, separately, I'm reading the tarot card book.
Ooh.
Deborah, you take a look at the tarot card book. What are you looking for?
I'm just like, so I was there for the part of the conversation where the different tarot cards were read for the different individuals, right?
Yep.
So I'm just looking up what those different tarot cards mean. The Tower, 5 of Swords, Hanged Man, and Devil. As if I've never played Persona 5.
Deborah, you're in the other room and you find this little booklet on tarot card readings, and you think back to the notes that Nova had written in her little notepad. For the Rodriguez family who lives on the street, she had the Tower card. You reference the book and you find that this represents a sudden upheaval and chaos. For Captain Harper, the sort of random underground pirate lady, she had the 5 of Swords, which represents defeat, loss, and betrayal.
Note to self, avoid Captain Harper.
For Rob the gardener, he had the Hanged Man, and that represents sacrifice, letting go, and surrender. And for Professor O'Malley, he had the Devil card, which represents temptation, addiction, and materialism.
I'm trying to see how much stock Deborah puts into Nova's predictions, and I would say 50%. 50% stock. Deborah just says, ladies, I found a very helpful and convenient reference guide for the tarot cards, which it seems that Nova was doing a little bit of, not spying, but definitely taking more than a cursory interest in some of the people that we know. And I explain what the different tarots mean for the 4 individuals that were mentioned.
Well, we think that one of these 4 people might have had something to do with Nova's death?
I mean, if we're very confident that it wasn't Vivian's daughter, which we'll have to revisit that. Okay.
How? I'm considering our years of friendship before I take offense that you even suggest that. Continue, please.
Of course, I don't think it was Shar.
Okay.
She wouldn't hurt a fly. Vivian, by the way, you have a little bit of a smudge on under your nose. You might want to
I kind of
wipe that away.
wipe it. Allergies. Over 30.
Yes.
You can't
Of
help
course.
it.
Oh, believe me, I completely understand. My physical therapist says I need to work on my core for my back, so I completely understand the over 30 thing.
Have you been seeing someone outside of my classes?
So I think that Listen, if we were looking for other suspects, I would say, based on the tarot readings, and again, I only put about half stock in what Nova did, but she's a good friend, so I will take her on faith here. I'm not so sure how I feel about Harper being the Five of Swords, but with defeat, loss, and betrayal. I feel like there was some betrayal and loss for sure at the Kensington party. That's just my 2 cents.
Should we talk to each of these people? Find out what they know? What kind of secrets they're hiding?
I mean, we could. I don't know exactly what we would say to them. Just, our friend did some tarot readings on you, and it doesn't look good for you, buddy. What do both of you think? I know you were in the office for a little while. I heard some odd sounds from in there, but I don't hold it against you.
My hand slipped. There was a decanter, poor quality.
Yes, that sounds like Oscar. Poor quality all the way.
Right?
Yeah. There's one thing we could agree on. It's how useless men are.
We all high five.
That's what brought us together in the first place, after all. We do our secret elaborate handshake.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
That involves pantomiming like some sort of cutoff of a penis.
It's very awkward because Nova was also part of it, but she's not here, so there's like part of it missing.
3 pieces of it, 4 parts.
Her emotions are missing from it, so it's we feel sad for a minute there.
It's sort of sad, actually.
Yeah, she pantomimed the penis, so it's sort of like
There's nothing to cut off anymore.
yeah.
She normally held the penis.
We're doing a bunch of karate chops. I shed a single tear.
I mean, it seems like Professor O'Malley might have had something to do with, blackmail or being seduced by something. Maybe he's a good one to talk to.
Yes, well, the devil means temptation and addiction and materialism, and I know I don't want any addiction in my neighborhood.
What about betrayal? I mean, clearly our friend was betrayed. She was murdered.
That's true, and I feel like Charlotte was betrayed by whoever used her to get to Nova.
Thank you.
And therefore all of us were betrayed. Really, it's Harper all the way down. So how about we start with Harper and then go to O'Malley if Harper doesn't work out?
Seems reasonable.
Kia approves.
All right. Now what's our cover story, ladies?
What about we make a committee for a neighborhood watch? Clearly there was a murder in our community. Security needs to be invested in.
Yes, and I'll volunteer myself as the chairwoman. No need to trouble yourselves with that.
Well, God knows I have a full plate, my full career.
Yes, we're all so very busy with work, especially me with the job that I totally have. And that's not life insurance money.
All right, so what is the plan exactly?
I think we're going to adjourn. Yeah, we're going to adjourn. And then the next day we're going to go talk to Captain Harper.
Just as a point of reference, Captain Harper is actually a woman. Meanwhile, do you guys clean up or anything, or you guys just like take the stuff and go?
I mean, Deborah feels like she cares enough about Nova to clean up a bit.
Well, it's actually Oscar's study.
She has enough respect for Nova and her family, I think. If this is anybody else aside from like this group, no.
Kia is feeling her late night third wind come on, and so she goes into a cleaning frenzy.
Vivian attempts to also clean, but her hands just feel so heavy and clumsy. She kind of makes more work than she fixes anything.
I very carefully pick up each individual piece of glass that was shattered and throw it away.
The three of you clean up Oscar's study. You wipe up the broken glass, pick up the papers, and put everything back on the shelves. The three of you work meticulously. Well, two out of the three of you do. And the three of you head out. As the three of you leave the room and Nova's house with all her stuff, we see one final shot of Oscar's study. A single page of Nova's notes has apparently escaped the three of you.
Dang it.
No!
Needed that nat 20.
It's jammed up very closely underneath the cabinet. And as the camera focuses on it, we see a drawing of Nova's, of a dark, shadowy shape that she has apparently seen in her divinations. There may or may not be tentacles.
We'll never know.
Hey everybody, this is Joey, your adequately sleepy dungeon master. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Desperate Orcish Housewives. Just a reminder that if you're enjoying the podcast, to please share it with friends and family and anyone else who you think might also enjoy it. Join us next time as Deborah, Kia, and Vivian investigate their neighbors.